What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. First off, I want to start by saying I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas and a happy holiday, but we are back here on NBA 2K25 here with another rebuild. So we went ahead and did our last realistic rebuild with the Dallas Mavericks, and now we're officially getting closer and closer to trade season, and trade rumors are kind of everywhere right now, specifically around like Jimmy Butler. And most recently, there's been some few whispers about De'Aaron Fox. Well, I'm not saying this is an imminent situation where the Kings are 100% without a doubt trading De'Aaron Fox here eventually, but it does make for an interesting conversation. I also think it makes for an interesting video. So today what we're going to do is a trading De'Aaron Fox, Sacramento Kings Rebuild in NBA 2K25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. So the Sacramento Kings right now are outside the playoff picture and the play-in picture, and we just kind of know. I don't need to explain the Kings status right now. I don't need to explain why this could maybe happen. Fox has been in Sacramento for a while. The organization hasn't had a ton of success. They made the playoffs, of course, and then they missed it entirely the very next year. They took the Warriors to 7. The Light the Beam became popular, missed the playoffs, and they're on the verge of maybe missing it again. Fox was offered an extension before the season started. He turned it down, which made sense financially because he could get a bigger contract in the offseason. I think that's what the case was. But that being said, if this team continues to falter or not be successful or not make the playoffs, is it possible De'Aaron Fox could be traded? I think there's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I do think it's going to be a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen at this deadline, by the way, but we are doing it at this trade deadline. So I went ahead and did the trade already, and I went ahead and did it with the San Antonio Spurs because I think Wemby and Fox would be a ton of fun. Honestly, maybe we should have even done this in the offseason, because I think if anything like this were to happen, I think this would be something that happened in the offseason, not at the deadline. I think it's just too quick of a turnaround for that to happen. I just can't see Sacramento trading Fox at the deadline, but whatever, we already did it. I'm not going to restart it now. So here's the trade that we did. As I mentioned, I traded him to the Spurs. So it's a big haul because De'Aaron Fox is 27 years old and he's going to be re-signed by the Spurs. He's going to want to stay there, if I had to guess. Playing with Wemby would be awesome. 5 first-round picks and 3 players. That's what I think it would take to get a guy like De'Aaron Fox. Maybe you think that's too rich, but that's kind of the price for guys like De'Aaron Fox at 27 years old, who's still in the prime of his career and about to enter it, really. So De'Aaron Fox and 2 other guys that had to be, thrown in there. But honestly, it's Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, and Zach Collins with all the Hawks picks and a couple other first-round picks, one from Boston and one from San Antonio. So that is the trade we went ahead and did. And I do think it makes sense if the Kings did trade De'Aaron Fox at the deadline. It would also make sense to trade Domantas Sabonis away, but we're going to visit that in the offseason. So the main new addition, obviously, is Jeremy Sohan. We also got Keldon Johnson as well and Zach Collins, which gives us 3 solid players that I think could be fine. But this team is not going to make the playoffs with De'Aaron Fox gone. I don't foresee that happening. So we're probably going to continue to tank this season, obviously, and not be good. But ultimately, we traded Fox away. And I do think there's for another video, or maybe even tomorrow if you guys want to see it, where we do a De'Aaron Fox Spurs rebuild. I think that'd be a ton of fun. Maybe I'll do that one in the offseason. I think that makes a little bit more sense. But regardless, here's your rotation for the rest of the season. So Devin Carter, I guess, is going to get some run to start the season, which I guess is, or for the rest of the season, which I guess is fine. So we're going to simulate the rest of year 1, and we're going to see how this team finishes out. Obviously, I expect to miss the playoffs. Hopefully, we miss the playoffs, to be honest with you, because we just traded our superstar point guard away in De'Aaron Fox. So let's go see what we can get in the lottery, unless if we somehow make the play-in, which is 100% possible here, as you guys can see. Today's video is brought to you by Daily Grind Fantasy's Optimizer. If you play on apps such as PrizePicks, Underdog, or these other popular DFS apps, having a tool like this is awesome to have to finding good plays right in front of you without having to do any research. So as you guys can see, we have a few plays on the board at the moment. You have Jokic over first quarter points for tonight's Christmas game, which is interesting. You have Keenan Allen under 6 receptions, which is a lot of push potential there, so don't love that prop necessarily. Jefferson, there's only 1 data point for Justin Jefferson under a touchdown right now. Not a whole lot of great value, but you have Drew Aller over 1.5 touchdowns on Tuesday. And we have Royce O'Neal under 5.5. Yeah, there's nothing really that great here. But usually when there's a lot of value, you can find a lot of good plays on here. So if you want to check out Daily Grind Fantasy, links down in the description below. Use code Crushables, 25% off the first month. Also, make sure to check out PrizePicks. You guys probably know what PrizePicks is by now, but make sure to check them out. You go over or under on point or player projections on any kind of sport. You can mix and match anything really, up to 8 or 6 players. So A lot of fun, just gives you an extra sweat while you watch sports. So make sure to check it out. Links down in the description below. Use code Crushables. They give you $50 instantly when you play $5. Other than that, let's get back to the rebuild. So Shea wins MVP at the end of this one. McCain's your Rookie of the Year. Russ is your 6-man Wemby Defensive Player. Amon Most Improved, and Cameron Thomas Clutch Player. And Mark is your Coach of the Year. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea if we made the playoffs or not. I'm really hoping we didn't, to be honest with you, or the play-in. We didn't. So we're actually out of the playoff picture, which is good because I'd rather be a lottery team at this point since we just traded away De'Aaron Fox, obviously. So here are your stats. 19 from Sabonis, 18 from DeRozan, 16 from Monk, 12 from Keldon Johnson, and 11 from Sohan, and 10 from Zach Collins. So let's go ahead. Some of the playoffs, and the Spurs with Fox are going to advance to round 2, but they got to the conference final, so De'Aaron Fox and Wemby seem to have worked out fairly well. That'll be a fun video if you guys want to see it. We got the Knicks going on to beat the Timberwolves in 7, and now we can get straight into the offseason. So here are all your retirements, and we can get to the lottery. So in the draft lottery process, we have the projection of, or I guess the Hawks. Do the Hawks have our pick unprotected, or is there protections on it? I believe there's protections on that pick. Hopefully there is anyway. And the Spurs have the Bulls pick, also the Hornets pick, but those are both protected. So let's see what happens here. So no, we actually don't get that pick, which really makes that. So yeah, like I said, I regret not starting this in the offseason. That would have made a lot more sense. But I guess I could double check maybe if that pick is supposed to go to us. Might have been top 10 protected, but 11th overall, we do not get it, which obviously really blows. But we are going to get 16 and 25, and I'll do some research on that pick before we jump into this draft, just in case. Wizards number 1, Pistons 2, and Philadelphia number 3. So with that all being said, we'll keep Mike Brown around, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the draft. And before we draft, I'm going to double check that pick isn't actually supposed to be ours from the Hawks. Obviously, I think that's from the Herder trade. But yeah, let me go double check that. So I'm glad I looked into it because we're actually extremely lucky. That pick turns out to be top 12 protected in 2025. Now it's top 10 protected next year. So we do in fact get the 11th overall pick in this draft, which is awesome. But like I said, our pick is only top 10 protected next year. So there might be some incentive to be as bad as possible next year. We'll see. Let's just kind of figure out who we draft first, and then we can maybe focus on Sabonis trade or Rosen trade and all that. But let's go ahead and jump in and see who we get in the draft first and foremost. Number 1 is going to be Flack to Washington. Number 2 is going to be Ace Bailey to Detroit. Dylan Harper to Philly. Trey Johnson to Portland. VJ Edgecombe goes. Noah goes. Igor goes. Nolan Troyer goes. You got Jaleel going. And then you got Malou Watch going. Okay, so who are we going to take with this pick is the question. So we have Boogie Flan, which I don't think would be a bad player to take here. You have Conrad. You have Avicic, Colin Murray Boyles, Liam, Hugo, Ian Jackson, Carter Knox, Hunter Salas. I mean, you can't really go too wrong with any of the options here. But I do think I'm going to start the draft with Hugo Gonzalez to give us a guard of the future. So we're going to start here with Hugo Gonzalez out of Spain. I'm kind of hoping, I'm kind of hoping Boogie Flan falls to our 16th pick, but I did not get that lucky. Michael goes, and so does, so all the forwards are going. Liam went as well. So Drake Powell might be our next pick here, to be honest with you. So I do think we're going to go ahead and take Drake Powell with this selection. And we'll see who falls to us with our last selection later in the draft. So we have Donnie Freeman still on the board. All-NBA. What else do we got? So we have Hunter Salas, Kwame Evans, Catchings, JT Toppin, Aaron Bradshaw. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Donnie Freeman here, though. So those will be our 3 picks in this draft. And hopefully all of them can contribute as soon as next year. So Hugo's a 74 overall. I guess we could have taken one of the other forwards who would have been better. But Hugo. And then we got Drake Powell as a 75. So overall, pretty happy with it. Donnie Freeman, 75. So not bad. I don't think this is anything game-changing. I think, honestly, the ceiling of most of these guys is probably going to be role players. So I don't think we drafted a superstar here by any means. But Keegan Murray, Jeremy Sohan, and Keon Ellis are all back. And then Isaac Jones is a free agent. But probably going to let all these guys just walk. Free agency, we do have Trey Lyles, a free agent, along with Orlando Robinson. So I think as far as what we want to do, so we have Devin Carter at the point guard right now. We have so many options at the shooting guard spot currently. So Drake Powell, Hugo, we're going to figure out something there. So I do want to trade DeMar DeRozan and Sabonis and Zach Collins. I want to trade DeRozan 100%. I think we can move him. Probably want to trade Malik Monk as well. I'm indifferent about trading Sabonis. I think we could take that one to the deadline probably. But let's go ahead and trade DeRozan. Let's just simply sell out here since our pick is protected again next year. And just be as bad as possible. Maybe we can get AJ in the next draft. But I'm not looking to get anything significant for DeRozan, but just something solid would be great. So I'm trying to send DeMar DeRozan over to the Lakers for Gabe Vincent and at least get Jalen Hood-Schifino out of this if possible. Rui is also would be a nice piece, but it doesn't look like that's... Well, I guess we can take Gabe Vincent away. Rui and Hood-Schifino feels like a decent enough return that I'd be happy with. So we're going to go ahead and make that happen. So Rui's going to be the new addition here, who I think we can flip maybe for a pick later on. But I think getting also Jalen Hood-Schifino to maybe be a backup point guard next year could be useful. Sometimes he progresses really nicely. So DeRozan is going to be the first player we trade away. And now we'll look at Malik Monk, who I think you could definitely get a first-round pick for. DeRozan trades I always struggle with. Chicago wants to offer me a first-round pick, which is interesting. But any team offer me a first for Malik Monk, I definitely think I'm game for it. So the Spurs, the Raptors. So the Spurs are offering me a really good pick. The Suns actually make some sense. Well, I don't even know if they have picks to trade. Suns does make sense a little bit. And the Wizards, Kashawn George now. Okay. The Spurs is interesting, I guess. What else we got? Anybody else that makes any sense? So I guess the Bulls offer me a first-round pick is a little weird, but maybe they think he could be a good fit next to Josh Giddey. So that's Portland's pick, which is lottery protected until like 2028. So we may never see this pick, but screw it. We're going to go ahead and do it. And, well, let's see if we can negotiate another pick. They still have Zach LaVine. Can I get like your 2029 instead of the Portland pick? I know a Portland pick says unprotected, but it really isn't in real life. Do you have to give me Jalen Smith too? I would just send you Malik Monk. Now we need Jalen Smith in it. You know, it'd be great if you give me Lou Watch instead, but not going to happen. So just give me maybe Javon Carter. What about that? So Javon Carter, first round pick from Chicago, will do it. So we move on from Malik Monk, move on to DeMar DeRozan. That's going to make the rotation a little bit more simple to build. I'm going to keep Sabonis for now, but definitely looking to trade him later on for sure. Let's go to player progression, and let's also make sure we renounce a lot of these guys. I don't plan on bringing any of them back. So let's renounce a lot of those guys, and we'll see what our team's looking like progression-wise after all that. So player progression, you have Sabonis down, Sohan is up, Keon Ellis is up to 78, Devin Carter's up, and then did Hood-Schifino go up like I thought he might? Yeah, he went up to 75, which is good. So overall, like I mentioned, we don't have any cornerstone pieces at all on this team. We have a bunch of role players. That's it. Like Keegan Murray might not even develop anymore in 2K. I'm not really sure if he develops like that. He used to. I'm not even sure if he does that anymore at all. So there is still a lot of work to be done here. Hopefully we can get a good haul for Domantas Sabonis at the deadline. That will be the ultimate next piece to do. But let's go ahead and see what the rotation is looking like for year number 2 with Fox gone. So here's your rotation for year number 2. Devin Carter, Keon Ellis, Keldon Johnson, Keegan Murray, Sabonis, Sohan, Rui, Zach Collins, Hood-Schifino, and Donnie Freeman. Honestly, there's a lot wrong with this rotation. I really want to get a lot of other people involved, like Drake Powell and Hugo. I want to play right away, to be honest with you. So there's going to be a lot of movement at this deadline. In fact, we could probably just bench Keon Ellis for like Drake Powell right now. Let's not even waste any time. Why would we even... You know, Keon Ellis is a great player, but I don't think playing him helps us, really. So... And then we can maybe even do the same thing. Is there anybody else? Like, could we take out... Maybe we take out Donnie Freeman for Hugo for now. Or maybe we take out Hood-Schifino instead. Let's play both of them, and we'll do that. So Hood-Schifino is going to be replaced by Hugo for this season. But there is still a lot to be done at the deadline. We should still be a bad team, I think. And we'll be moving like Sabonis. We'll be moving Rui at the deadline as well. There might be Zach Collins move. Keon Ellis, like there's a lot of pieces we can sell off at the deadline, and I 100% plan to do that. Let's go see how the season goes with what we have right now. We're above 500 at the moment. I hope that doesn't stick that way because I do not want to be in the playoffs with this team. I do not think this team is even remotely good enough. So far, our simulation is off to a funky start for us. We're a lot better than I want to be at the deadline, to be honest with you, and I 100% plan on trading Domantas Sabonis to start things off here, but I got to make sure this trade makes sense. I'm looking to do something similar to what he was traded for in real life, if we remember, not the, OKC Pacers trade. I'm talking about the Kings Pacers trade. I'm kind of hoping for Sabonis to be traded for like a guard or backcourt player that can be a guy we build around for the future. And there was like Trae Young offered to me, but I don't think Atlanta trades Trae Young for Sabonis. That doesn't make a ton of sense for them. It would be, if they were doing that, they'd probably want to pair. I guess you could say maybe I think Jalen Johnson, Ricochet could play next to Sabonis, but all in all, I don't think that makes any sense. And I don't think Trae Young's the answer for us. Garland's interesting too, but Cleveland has bigs, so that's not really going to make any sense. Dame is just too old at this point. But my favorite one by far is, well, I like this one from Orlando, but I just can't see them trading Suggs, to be honest with you. So my favorite one is the Pistons one, where we trade Cade Cunningham to play with Domantas Sabonis. I definitely think that could be an interesting pairing. Also, I just noticed that Duran is no longer on the Pistons. He's clearly on the 76ers. So the Pistons could use a 5-man. So Ivy is someone we could take. There's always been rumors about Ivy anyway. Now, ideally, I'd like to get something more than just Tobias Harris alongside Jaden Ivey. But I think Jaden Ivey could be a very interesting piece going forward, whether we play him at point guard or whatever. But I kind of like the idea of him maybe being our lead guard. Maybe we could turn him into something. So I'm going to ask for their unprotected first 2 and see what they say to that. They say no, though. Can you give me something other than Tobias? I guess Tobias Harris's contract probably has to be in it, unfortunately. So their center is Isaiah Stewart. So they clearly need a 5-man. So this trade makes a ton of sense. We may not be able to get the first round pick. Maybe it's a later first in the future. I would love to get another piece on top of what I'm offering. They still say no, though. Okay, what if I give you Rui on? Nope, that's too much money. So that's way too much money. And we were giving them what? They wanted what? Kobe Jones, who wasn't making much at all. So that makes sense. What about Hood Shafino, who had, nope, that's also not going to work. Okay, so maybe we can't get greedy. Maybe we can't get the first round pick. We just trade Sabonis for Ivy straight up. I don't love it. I don't love it, though. But I do want to make it happen. I want to trade Sabonis away. I want to get off his contract. And I think Jaden Ivey could be an interesting piece for us going forward. Although, like I said, I'd really love a first round pick as well on top of that. But they're not budging. What if I threw a couple seconds at them? Nope, still not interested. What about a 3rd second? No. Wow, they're going to be that greedy over doing this. You know what? Screw it. I'm trading Sabonis for Ivy, and I'm not looking back. Wanted a first round pick on top of that. But my plan is with this is to make Ivy into a special player in Sacramento. That's the game plan. If it doesn't work out, then we failed. Whether playing Ivy at point guard or shooting guard, I don't care. But I'm going to play him at point guard for now this season because there's so many guys who can play at shooting guard right now. So Ivy's going to play point guard, and we're going to develop him into a great player here, hopefully, because that's the game plan right now at the moment. Develop him as much as possible. Okay, and then I want to trade, who else? Rui. I want to trade Rui as well. And then there was another guy, Zach Collins, maybe too. Maybe we could trade another player. But Rui, just give me like a 1st or a 2nd for him. So the Hornets want off me, pick swap, Stewart, so we can go back to the Pistons. Maybe there's nothing that makes sense here. So, okay, we're just going to hang on to Rui. Didn't really like anything. So Ivy's going to get a lot of minutes in the backcourt, but there's clearly still a lot of things to clear here. Hugo is still going to get minutes over, well, Tobias Harris. I don't really care about Tobias Harris playing this season at all. So we're going to have Hugo those minutes, or Drake Powell. It doesn't matter. We're just going to play one of these guys. Eventually, they're all going to insert themselves in rotation, but let's go ahead. So with the rest of year 1, year 2, and then the only other thing I want to do is I want to make Ivy the lead guy here. So hopefully he can become something with that. We'll see how it works out. So the tank did not work at all, unfortunately. We all saw that we kind of started this season pretty solid, and we still finished up pretty solid. It looks like Ivy came in and was pretty good for us, which is nice, I guess. But obviously I wanted to be in the, contention for AJ. But Ivy led the way with 17 points per game. 29% from 3. Not the most efficient player in the world, so maybe this plan won't work, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. Kellen, 13 points, 13 from Sohan, 12 from Zach Collins, and 11 from Drake Powell his rookie season, 11 from Keegan Murray, and then 10 for Tobias Harris. Well, we get the Pelicans in round 1. Honestly, I generally do not care about getting in the playoffs. I don't know if we're going to be in the top 10, to be honest. We probably won't be. So our pick is probably headed towards Atlanta, unfortunately. So Mavericks are going to get the championship over the Knicks in 6. We got Brooke and Durant both retiring. Let's get in the lottery once again. So let's see where our pick projected. So our pick is projected to actually be in the top 10. So we might actually get our pick back. Fingers crossed we get lucky and jump up to 1. The odds of that happening obviously slim. It didn't happen. And our pick actually fell to the top 10 as well. So we're not getting our pick this offseason. But I did kind of maybe think that could happen. We do get the 15th pick from Atlanta, which is nice. But yeah, unfortunately, overall, disappointed. I will say I'm mostly disappointed about the result of that lottery. But let's go see what we can get with 15 at the very least. I think we take Darius here and don't look back. So welcome to Sacramento, Darius. Pretty happy with that pick. Getting him at 15 feels solid in an early second. But getting him, he's going to play right away this year. So it's going to be him and Ivy in the backcourt. And you got Devin Carter and Hood Shafino. We'll accept both of those. One of those guys will be our backup point guard. A lot of guys resign here. Keegan Murray and Sohan. We're going to have to resign both of them because we can't let... we traded De'Aaron Fox to get Sohan, so we got to keep him around. We got to keep Keegan Murray because the Kings drafted, or, used a really good pick to draft him. Hopefully he continues to develop at 2K, but man, 7 overall is rough. Ivy, we got to extend him as well. So, and then other free agents, you got Keegan, you have Sohan, and then Ivy should be here as well. So We're not bringing back Tobias Harris. In fact, everyone here is restricted. So let's just get this out of the way. So we are 100% going to renounce pretty much everybody here. So they already have pretty much everybody I want to renounce, honestly. So I only want to keep Sohan. You probably let Keon Ellis go as well. I think he'd be better in contender anyway. So Keegan Murray, Sohan, Jaden Ivey are the only 3 guys I'm obviously interested in bringing back. So we're going to renounce everybody else. So that's clear. Now, the good thing is neither one of these guys are going to get like a ginormous contract. So that's good. So we can be happy about that. And we're going to take this to the last day of free agency to get these guys for as cheap as possible. That's going to be the game plan. Let's take a look at our rotation right now. So, like I said, one of these guys is going to figure out the backup point guard spot. Ivy's going to move back to the 2, which is going to move one of these guys back to the 3. We don't have a 5-man at all, so that might be important to look into as well. But Drake Powell and Hugo are probably both going to slide down to the 3, honestly. Not Hood-Schifino, sorry. But, and then Hugo is going to move to the 3 as well. So both those guys are going to be our small forward this year, it looks like. So, and then shooting guard will be Ivy. Keldon Johnson probably is going to have to move to shooting guard to be the backup. And then we'll have Sohan, Keegan Murray take the power forward. We need a center, though. So is there any center we can sign in free agency for the low? Because we need somebody in the building. Charles, we can go for Mark Williams. We can go for Robert Williams. We can go for Jalen Duren, who's unrestricted, but he's just wanting way too much money. How much cap space do we have, actually? I don't even know. So we have quite a bit. Maybe we can get Duren with these 4 guys. I don't know. That might be too much money being spent, but we'll try. Maybe. We'll see. So let's go ahead and make those offers right now. So Keegan Murray, 5-year deal. Let's re-sign all of them. So let's get them all for as cheap as possible, hopefully. So he'll accept that, it looks like. Sohan is asking for a bag, man. Not really a bag I want to give him, but I do want to keep him. So we'll keep him around in Ivy. Wow, what the hell happened to $23 million expected? You're up to 36 now? Or can I just bring that all the way down? Because I'm not giving him that much money. Okay. So 23 feels good. So hopefully he declines that. So we got to give him a little bit more. Well, let me come in and offer a little bit more there. So Ivy. Boom. And then we'll sign him. Whoops. There we go. Sign him to a little bit more expensive than 23. We'll go 25 on the dot. Hopefully he signs that. And he does. Okay. So now, do we want to sign? We got to sign a center. I don't know if we have enough to sign Jalen Duren, though. I don't think we do. Maybe we just sign Robert Williams as yeah, let's just go for Robert Williams. So we'll sign Robert Williams to a deal. I'm assuming we could probably get him as well on the last day. Robert Williams there, and now we can get... Why are these guys wanting so much money? What are we doing here? You were asking for like 15 million. I guess I'll give you... I don't even know if I can afford that, but screw it. So let's see if we can sign all of them. Robert Williams will be the last priority. We do get him, though. So player progression. Ivy's up to an 84. Sohan's up to an 84. Drake Powell is up. Keegan Murray is up. Not to where I want it to be, though. Devin Carter is up. Hood-Schifino is up. Hugo is up. But pretty much everybody is developing, which is at least promising. We'll see how this goes for this next season. A lot still to work on, but I think we have a little bit more of an established direction going into year 3. So we'll take a look at the rotation and see how successful we can look this upcoming season. So here's what we're going to rock with for season 3. It's going to be Darius starting with Jaden Ivey in the backcourt, Drake Powell at the 3, Sohan at the 4, Robert Williams, Devin Carter, Keegan Murray, Hugo Gonzalez, and Hood-Schifino. Also, Donnie Freeman's getting some minutes as well. So shot tendencies, you have Jaden Ivey up to a 96, 97. Honestly, I want to look at Darius's as well. It's a 70 out of the draft. I'm going to go ahead and just push it up, man. I mean, if there's anybody who's going to become good, I guess he could become one of those guys for us. Keegan Murray's is a 63. Maybe push that up just a tad bit. Maybe push Hood-Schifino's down. Other than that, we'll leave everything else alone. I'm not expecting to be a playoff team this year, even though we were in the play-in last year. But off to a 2-0 start, but we're starting to come down to earth. But I do believe our pick, or I guess our pick conveyed already. So we have our pick this offseason. We'll see how we end up doing. But still a lot of work to be done, but we're making progress slowly but surely. So another season where I thought we'd be really bad, but we just keep on making the plans. So maybe we're closer than I even thought, and maybe we can be even more aggressive going into the offseason. But Darius makes all-rookie first team, averaging 15 and 6 in his first season, so that's encouraging. But we are then playing, and this time we're on the upper side of the bracket of the plan, which is nice. So he had 19 from Jaden Ivey, which is nice, but not as efficient once again. So maybe the plan of making him the lead guy or one of the guys is not going to work, but it was worth a shot. Drake Powell, 13 points per game. Might even develop like crazy this offseason. That would be obviously very helpful. We need guys to develop really nicely. So Hugo and Drake Powell are 2 guys I'm very encouraged about. Keegan Murray, honestly, I do think we might just trade him this offseason. I don't know what happened to him, but I've noticed in 2K he does not develop like he used to. He just doesn't become anything special. So he'll probably be the guy that's moved this offseason, unfortunately. With that being said, we play the Grizzlies, and we do lose to them. So we'll see who we get. It's going to be the Warriors. Do we get in? Yes, we do. So we're actually in the playoffs. So that's nice. Let's go see what we can do. So they're going to put Hoshifino over in Darius. So that moves Darius completely out of it, but I highly disagree with doing something like that. So let's go ahead and somebody. I mean, we're not beating the Mavericks, assuming they still have Luka. They do. So we're not beating them. Do they have Jimmy Butler too? Yeah, they have Jimmy Butler. 83 overall Jimmy Butler. Okay. Well, somebody come around against, wow, we won a game, but we lose in 5 ultimately. But yeah, I think I'm happy with what we've seen, but they're definitely Cade Cunningham Finals MVP. So Cade and Sabonis actually won a championship together. So that's cool. Shout out to them. They also had Ace Bailey too. So they've put together a squad in Detroit. So here are your retirements, and we can go straight to the lottery and see what we got going on here. Although we made the playoffs, so that's not going to help us. Do we have any? Oh, so we have the Kings or the Atlanta pick though with the 4th overall selection, so that's nice. And we have the 27th pick that's the Hawks. I'm not the Hawks. I'm the Kings. Do you have any other pick? No, just the 4th pick. So who could we get in this draft though is the question. So mock drafts. This is okay. So Costanza, Stokes, McCoy. All right. Well, weirdly enough, I might trade this pick, which sounds crazy. I think we sold Mike Brown in one more year, right? We did. So yeah. All right. So which sounds crazy to do, but I kind of want to be aggressive, man. We're going to continue to be bad. We can't really rely on a rookie anymore. We have the 18th pick too. We have so many salaries we can use. Honestly, don't think there's a single player off the table for us. So I'm going to see if there's any kind of crazy trade we can make here to be aggressive and trying to make this team better. So we're actually going to go talk to the Toronto Raptors about Scotty Barnes. They're selling. He's a 91 overall at 25 years old. Yeah, sign me up. So we're going to see what they think about maybe giving us Scotty Barnes. $44 million, just had a pretty good season at 20-8. I don't believe in Sohan and Keegan Murray as the power forward going forward, so I'm fine with moving one of them. Whichever one we need to move, I don't care. So I'm going to offer Keegan Murray, I guess, to start things off. We can maybe even offer both of them. I'm not opposed to that either. Yeah, do you want both? I'll give you Sohan and him. So Keegan Murray and Sohan. Well, Sohan has a little bit more trade value. Now, trading the 4th overall pick might be a little too crazy. I don't know if I can get to that, but do I trade both or do I just offer Keegan Murray? Let's keep Sohan. Let's offer Keegan Murray 2 firsts, and I wish I could throw like Donnie Freeman in here, but his contract's expired right now. What about this Bulls pick? So Keegan Murray, 3 firsts, and then Robert Williams as well, which we can get a new center in the offseason because I don't really care about Robert Williams going forward. So they agree. We get Scotty Barnes. We trade our pick other than obviously number 4 in this drafts. So whoever we get at number 4, we get Scotty Barnes, which feels really good. So let's see what we get at number 4. Stokes, and then Brandon McCoy goes. Hugo goes out of France, and then we will take probably Elijah Arenas. Yeah, so we'll take Elijah Arenas here out of Texas. Probably will come off the bench this year if I had to guess. But, you know, got to be happy with that pick. So welcome to Sacramento. We'll decline Beasley. We'll accept the rest of these. Hood-Schifino's a free agent. We'll figure out what we want to do with him. But free agency, Keldon Johnson and Hood-Schifino are both free agents. Hood-Schifino averaged 9 last year. Probably can let him go if I'm honest with you. I guess he was our backup point guard. Although we just drafted Arenas, you can move Carter. Yeah, so probably renounce Hood-Schifino and not spend so much money on him. So we'll move Devin Carter back to backup point guard. That looks good. Darius will be the starter. Ivy's the 2 with Arenas coming in. Drake Powell's the 3 along with Hugo. We just grabbed Barnes. We have Sohan still. And obviously the main position we need now is a center, which there isn't any like great ones in free agency. Wemby obviously exists, but we don't have enough money for that. So I don't know. So we'll see. I think we could look into trading Freeman and I mean, do we have anybody else's salary to trade away? I guess Sohan is the obvious salary to trade away. Or maybe even one of, well, yeah, that's probably all. We're not going to trade Arenas. So we just, well, maybe just sign Naz Reid or Jalen Smith or Day'Ron Sharp. Like, any of those guys could be like a serviceable center. We're definitely not bringing, or we could do, low key, is we could sign and trade Hood-Schifino, who had a really big role for us. So let's do that. That might be the best thing to do. So let's sign and trade Hood-Schifino. We actually have $18 million in cap space. So I imagine that gets us somebody good. So Mitch Robinson. Well, yeah, so that's all the centers available. So we have Duran, which that's not going to be enough to get him, unfortunately. Mark Williamson, maybe. Nah, not going to happen. Mitch Robinson is okay. 29 years old. Gives us a center option. You know what? I don't hate it. He's not going to cost us much either. So yeah, let's sign Mitchell Robinson to a deal. We'll have to renounce everybody else, but I'm fine with that. So we get Mitchell Robinson as our center for now. Basically a Robert Williams replacement, obviously. And we could sign Diabate or Neemias Queta as well as our backup. So which one do we want more? Give me Diabate as our backup. Okay, I can work with that. So that gives us Barnes and... honestly, what matters is how much these guys develop this season. Let's see how much these guys go up in overall. So, Darius is already up to an 84. So, I kind of figured he was going to be really good for us. Hugo is up. Drake Powell is up. This team is already shaping out to exactly what I planned it to be, and I'm happy to see that. So, this season should be a lot better. I think we actually could be sneaky contenders based off the development we just saw. And we just brought in Scotty Barnes. We'll have Sohan off the bench. This could be a really good team. So, hoping for that to be the case. Let's go take a look at the lineup for year 4, and we'll see if this works out the way we think it can. I think this could truly be a contending team that could win a championship, which is crazy to say because we really haven't even been close. We made the playoffs last year as the 8th seed, but that's not enough. And now 2K is taking forever to load, so I'll see you in a second. So rotation for the season is Darius, Jaden Ivey, Drake Powell, Scotty Barnes, Mitchell Robinson, Sohan, Hugo, Devin Carter, and Donnie Freeman. And we can go ahead and run a 10-man rotation as well to get some arenas minutes in there too. So feeling good about that. That leaves Diabate out, but that's fine. So yeah, I'm excited about this season. I think things could be great, hopefully. So shot tendencies, Barnes is obviously high. Ivy's is high. We can reduce that one though. This did not work out like I wanted it to, so let's just reduce that. Darius and Barnes will be the guys that shoot, obviously. Ivy and Drake Powell. We can move Drake Powell as the third option and move Ivy down quite a bit. Let's go 70 for Ivy. So Ivy did not work out like we thought, but all in all is well as long as the team makes the playoffs this year, which I do think we should be able to. So let's see if that ends up being the case. Are we going to be contender this year? We'll find out. So far, we're undefeated on the season, so maybe we're going to championship this year. We'll find out. So I thought we'd be good this season, but being this good was not on my agenda. We won 67 games under Mike Brown as the head coach. So executive of the year goes to Quinn Miles, and coach of the year goes to Mike Brown at 67 and 15. So feeling pretty good about seeing that. Obviously, we've come a long way at this point, and we are the first team in the Western Conference. So let's take a look at the player stats to kind of see what happened here. So you had 20 from Barnes, 17 from Darius, 15 from Powell, 14 from Ivy, 13 from Hugo, and 12 from Jeremy Sohan. All in all, this team just really clicked on all cylinders, which feels good. But are we going to go win a championship? The Lakers have AJ and Anthony Davis and Connect, who's up to an 88 overall. So this could be troublesome. LeBron James is gone. He retired earlier, but they replaced him with AJ, and we will sweep them. So far, so good. But now we run into Wemby and Fox, which is funny because obviously this is, kind of a video we could do tomorrow. So Wemby, Fox, Castle, Peterson, off the bench, Malachi Brown. This is going to be a tough team to play. So let's see how this goes. Game 1 goes to us. So far, so good. We have not dropped the game in the playoffs just yet. We're really about to sweep the Spurs. Okay, well, for some reason, this team is clicking on all cylinders. Barnes is that dude, I guess. I don't know what's going on. 29 and 5. Is Barnes just that good in the simulation? Don't know, but hey, I'll take it. So if Hugo starting... I mean, it's a good-looking team, but sweeping the Spurs like that was kind of bizarre. The Thunder, though, Shaedon Sharpe and Shea is pretty nasty. Obviously, Toronto boys together, so that's cool. J-Dub, Chet, Cameron Bouger off the bench. I mean, this one is going to definitely have us grinding hard for this one. So go down 1-0, but we do even it up. So we've dropped the game already. We're down 2-1. Can we even it up? Yes, we do. Okay, so we got a massive game 5 ahead of us here. So they want to fix rotation. Are we still running a 10-man rotation in the playoffs, by the way? Yeah, we are. So let's go 9-man and let's simcast game 5. So we're at home in Sacktown. They have won 1 here, but let's see if we can make sure they don't win another one. Could be punching our ticket to the finals if we can hang on here, and we do just that. 113 and 130. So we're not going to play dangerous games by clicking some way through a game. We're going to simcast again here for this game 6. Can we hang on to the lead here and get ourselves to the finals? Have the lead right now, but are we going to hang on to it? And I think we will. We're going to the finals. Wow, 113 and 97. Barnes with 37. And Jalen Brunson is on the other side with the Knicks. So Knicks have Brunson, Mikal, OG. Mikal Bridges went off on Christmas. Kolo Pete, Stewart, and Keldon Johnson that we didn't resign. So game 1 goes to the Knicks. Game 2, even it up. Game 3 goes to us. So far, so good. Okay, so we got another game 5 ahead of us. They want to keep swapping Powell and Hugo. That's fine. Both of them are serviceable here. Whichever one we feel is the need to start, that's fine. Okay, so can we get the lead? We gotten close. We took it a couple times. We hang on. Yes, we do. So we win game 5, and now we got a game 6 in Madison Square Garden, which is a lot of players' favorite arena to play at. Can we hang on and beat them here in Madison Square Garden to hoist our Larry O'Brien trophy? And yes, we will. We will win a championship with this Kings team. Scotty Barnes turned out to be a cheat code. Finals MVP Barnes. So, yeah, I'll take it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Development hit like crazy this offseason, and it worked out. We swept the first 2 series and then went to 6 for the next 2. But, man, all in all is well. Great Christmas. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.